Well, in other news, the South African delegation at the World Economic Forum optimistic about achieving their goal of urging global investors to grow with our country. Team SA says it's geared up to tackle questions around unstable power supplies, policy reform and implementation. Our business reporter Tumisang Ndlovu speaks to the acting CEO at Brand SA.
South Africa's role at WEF 2023 has been questioned, particularly around the domestic challenges that the country faces and how exactly it is that South Africa is going to sell itself to global participants and investors. We are joined now by the acting CEO at Brand SA's Thembile Ntombela to talk more on what it is, their agenda. Thank you so much for your time. Let's first start with the messaging that South Africa has for the globe, given the current challenges that we have, just to reassure investors.
Thank you, Tumi. Team South Africa at Davos this year is very clear that they are promoting South Africa as a resilient, country. We have to tap into our inner strength and tell a positive and a good story about what South Africa's value proposition is. So yes, you speak about challenges, Domi. Every country has challenges. So it's a decision that we have to say we choose to talk about the negativity or we choose to talk about the positive stuff. And we are deliberate and intentional this year in that we want to flag more of the positive stuff. South Africa is a resilient country with a resilient economy. We've seen in the last quarter as well, even though it's small, but there was a positive growth. And it tells you that that happens when there's high rates of inflation, unemployment, and really slow economic growth. But it tells you that really South Africa has that resilience as far as its economy, but also from a diversity perspective. It's not like, our country is reliant on one sector. We have a multi-pronged or multifocal sectorial, where we speak of tourism, where we speak of, mining, manufacturing, and we speak of service industry when you look at our GDP construct. So it's imperative then that Team SA be the voice of our value propositions. And our messaging this year really has been anchored around the diversity of our economy, the resilience of our economy, but more so, we are telling the world that we are a country that is forging ahead and breaking new grounds by inspiring new and different way. Simply put, we are saying we've got challenges, but we are tenacious. We are resilient and we will solve our challenges as a country.
As a parting shot, what is Team SA saying about the energy crisis that we are facing? Number one, to investors, to ensure that there is a solution that comes out of that, but also to reassure the rest of the globe that South Africa is working somewhat to addressing those particular challenges, and at what speed?
Team South Africa is clear about the role that government has put in place in terms of plans and strategies to diversify, number one, the supply of energy. So we are the messengers of that, the diversification that it has been opened up. It's not monopolized to one supplier, which is Eskom, but there's more and more role players that are going to come on board and be the suppliers of energy. But also to diversify the supply of energy, it means being involved in things such as hydro, in as far as the solars and so forth. So there's a lot of work that has been done in place, in terms of our plan, and our role is to relay the messages to our investors, to reassure them that it's not as if South Africa is not doing anything about the energy crisis. There is a plan in place, and consistently articulating that message will eventually complement the rate at which we execute. So the challenge now really relies on us as South Africa, the leadership, the people that are in those respective areas, to ensure that there's implementation and speed to implementation, so that we don't lose so much of credibility and trust, because what we say and what we do, they have to be synchronized.
Implementation, as well as a promise of addressing the challenges in the energy crisis in South Africa, is what Team SA is here to do in reassuring global investors that South Africa is still a desired destination for investment. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Tumisang Ndlovu in Davos, Switzerland.